Ladies and gentlemen, I just got done with the live stream. To the viewers on the live stream this evening, thank you so much. It was awesome. Definitely check out the live streams every evening at around 9 or so, probably 8 to 9. I start these live shows, and I just want to thank you for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump is presiding, and he's very likely enjoying, Andrew Cuomo's political demise, but also his inevitable impeachment. The man has not only 7 accusations now, but this is an article from NBC News. We can get to articles from the New York Times. So hit subscribe to this channel right now. Tell your friends about this channel. Trump made Cuomo a hero during the crisis. An elderly home, debacle proves the honeymoon's over. What? Is NBC News? So I'm not actually giving the exact title, but it's an article from a couple weeks back. We've known about Andrew Cuomo's decision making for about a year now. We knew the New York Post was covering this for a long time. Why was he ever a hero? So what kind of Democrats need to reckon with the record of politicians on both sides of the aisle who have used Trump, the pandemic, or both to elevate their profile? This word reckon is like a cop-out. It's a kind of pathetic excuse to circumvent the responsibility or the poor journalism of people who have essentially become activists, not reporters. They should never have propped up, whether it was the Times or the Washington Post or NBC News, they should never have propped up Andrew Cuomo. He was always bad, worse than anything Trump did. President Trump did not do anything specific to cause the loss of life of anyone in any state. There aren't legal like lawsuits, or he was never impeached on anything to do with the pandemic. They are going to impeach Cuomo primarily for his handling of the crisis. Now you have 7 accusations. That's what the media is focusing on. Really what's taking place is that the Democrats in New York are trying to find a way to get this man out of office because he's absolutely horrendous. He wrote a book. He was called America's governor by U.S. News and the New York Times and every publication. He was championed as this voice opposite Trump. Trump was not as bad as what Democrats or people who dislike him like to portray him as. He did not, when you look at the Democratic-run states, look at the New York Times statistics, look at the actual statistics and the data and the aggregate data. The greatest number of lives lost were in Democratic-run states. 1 out of 2 lives lost. I'm sorry. 1 out of 5 lives lost. 20% are in either California or New York. 40% are in either California and New York and 5 other Democratic-run states within the top 11 states. 7 of the top 11 states with the greatest number of lives lost are Democratic-run states. How is that Trump's fault? So I touched upon this on the live stream prior to this upload. How on earth is all of this Trump's fault? We had record low unemployment throughout most of President Trump's tenure. The economy tanked because Democrats said science and experts. Of course, anyone within the scientific community or any experts that disagreed were horrible human beings. The public relations spin is prop up Andrew Cuomo, prop up Avenatti, prop up the Lincoln Project, tell everyone how wonderful Ben Sasse and Mitt Romney and Hollywood celebrities are for going up against mean authoritarian Trump, while at the same time purchase a dossier that says that he was in a Moscow hotel room, completely baseless. Make sure social media algorithms never say it's a disputed claim. Then when there's an actual legitimate story with emails that Biden's son actually writes, his actual computer, completely disregard it, say there's no basis for it while still propping up the dossier, which literally Clinton and the DNC purchased, and then say, no, the New York Times, their Twitter profile is suspended. And then, there were missteps. President Trump made missteps. He wasn't perfect. but he was the best president in terms of accomplishments. In terms of his Twitter profile or how he handled public relations, yeah, it was not good. But I judge a person by their accomplishments. First president to step foot in North Korea, allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. Signed the First Step Act. Signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. Presided over the Abraham Accords. Moved the embassy to Jerusalem in Israel, which is important to me. Important to me as a Jewish American. So, you have a lot of accomplishments that he was able to, and I mean, the most important thing for me was that he reversed U.S. foreign policy, which is a fact. He got people out of regions of the world that President Biden now wanted to send a message to. We shouldn't even be in those places. President Trump opposed never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. The left is so, warped in their mentality of morality that they say, well, you know who also wants an end to perpetual conflict? Conservatives. And the conservatives are bad people, so therefore, it's not a good ideal to have. It's not a good principle to have or a policy. They actually are on the side of keeping Americans in harm's way forever because conservatives want Americans out of never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. Or I should say, people on the left, like populists on the left and conservatives all want, it doesn't matter. If you're a populist, you want an end to all of these quagmires. So that's what I thought Bernie Sanders would want. Okay. But you have a situation where, we can look. This article title, Trump made Cuomo a hero. Why? Simply because you opposed it was petulant, malicious. Trump was not a bad president. If you focus only on public relations and social media and the uproar and the temper tantrum media had every single day for 4 years, it worked. There are people now who think that Trump is the worst president of all time. They forget George W. Bush was the worst president of all time. See, I'm not an ideologue. I came from the left, voting for President Trump because he has a good foreign policy, very good, compared to Biden and President Obama, who presided over a NATO intervention that literally caused the country to become a failed state in Libya. So, what's worse than that? They say Trump is a horrible human being, but President Obama is a good person for what he did to Libya? Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld are good people? What, because they didn't have Twitter and they didn't what President Trump did is he took a baseball bat and continually bashed this hornet's nest of, the most apoplectic, morally indignant, morally superior liberal journalists. Or I say that, obviously being facetious. They believe they're morally superior. They're going to go after Trump and then, completely stay quiet with Biden. But it's Biden who has more tendencies and actually did things that correlate to what an authoritarian and a despot and a tyrant would do. He signed not only helped write prison reform legislation. No, that's Trump. Not only did he help write the crime bill, but he wrote the section within the crime bill with the 100-to-1 sentencing disparity for a narcotic that his son is accused of having used. But see, again, you tell this to somebody who can't stand Trump, it's like trying to teach physics to an amoeba. They're incapable of actually looking at facts and reason and logic. And I don't ever come from the vantage point that you have to like Trump. Dislike him, don't like his personality, don't like his policies, that's fine. Don't say he's an authoritarian or tyrant or despot. That's absurd. When you disregard the actual policies linked to Biden that you could say that despots in years past have engaged within. Obviously, there's the algorithm. I can't really explain everything I want, but just look at history. Despots aren't known for prison reform legislation or removing their militaries from quagmires. That's what President Trump was able to accomplish. They're not known for something like the Abraham Accords. So, I mean, you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where the image, the myth, overshadowed who Trump really was. And that's unfortunate. And now you have Trump presiding over Andrew Cuomo's impeachment. And you have an article in NBC News. Trump made Cuomo a hero for no reason other than just because they wanted somebody to oppose Trump. The elderly care controversy. My God. 15,000 lives linked to Cuomo lost. Give me your thoughts below. They should impeach him immediately. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you.